Welcome to Martin Survival. Today I am joined with one of my good friends from the Joshua Tree National Park Search and Rescue Team. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Nice to be here, Jeff.
And we are going to discuss the history of the Joshua Tree National Park Search and Rescue Squad, as well as some of the things that you face and some of the tools that you use out in the field to ultimately find a subject. So stick around, folks. We got a great show coming up. All right, so I want to welcome you back, and of course, thank you very much again for joining me on this video. And I guess the first thing we should start off with is a little bit about the history regarding the Joshua Tree National Park Search and Rescue Team.
Well, I'm not the historian, but the little bit that I know about the history of the Joshua Tree National Park Search and Rescue Team is that people get lost in a national park and they get injured in the national park. And the search and rescue team was developed out of need, and a couple of climbers, volunteers, came forward and went to the rangers and said, do you need some help? And so that's how the search and rescue team was born. Is the staff, we call them the staff, the rangers, just don't have enough person. When there's a rescue or there's a search, they need a lot of bodies, a lot of people, to solve the problem or to take care of the rescue.
Absolutely.
And so they were born. The rescue team, search and rescue team, was born out of need.
Sure. So was there a search and rescue team before the park actually came into place? Do you know that, or?
Well, if you're thinking when the park was a national monument.
National monument.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So there was.
Yes.
Okay. I was not aware of that. I thought it actually started after it was brought into establishment. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Learn something new every day, folks. So now my next question would be some of the tools that you guys use, because I know tools are very important to finding a subject and ultimately getting the subject back to his home safely. So brush into that a little bit.
Well, the tools you're referring to are on the search side of the search and rescue team. We do two major missions. One is the searching for a lost person, and then the other major mission is rescue, which is somebody gets hurt, a climber falls, or somebody breaks their ankle on a trail.
Like yesterday.
That's right. We had a fallen climber yesterday. That's right. That was about a 4-hour, well, maybe longer than that, rescue.
Yeah.
It was about a half-a-day rescue.
Yeah. Interesting.
But things happen. People go up, they scramble up. The non-climber types, we get a lot of that. They scramble up, they can't come down. Because down climbing is harder than going up.
Absolutely.
They get stuck, and we've got to go up and do a rope rescue, a technical rope rescue, in order to bring them down. But that's the rescue side. What you're referring to is the search side, which is the person they get themselves lost, and we discover perhaps their car is parked too long in a location, or somebody calls and said, hey, my boyfriend went camping and hasn't returned when he should have, things like that.
Absolutely.
And then we discover we have a lost person, and then there's a search, and now we get to the tools. And some of the tools that we use in a search is there are two lifelines to a lost person. And one is the tracks that they leave, and they leave about 3,000 tracks per mile. And so that's a lot of evidence.
Yeah,
and that's why we do tracking, is because that's a lot of evidence. That's one lifeline to a subject.
Sure.
And then another lifeline to the subject is the fact that a person, their body, they discard about 40,000 epithelials, which is skin cells, from their body every minute. And that leaves a scent trail that dogs can follow. And we have several dog teams on the National Park Search and Rescue Team. And so those are two lifelines to the subject, and we utilize both lifelines.
Excellent. Wow. So quite the process going into ultimately finding a subject, and again, hoping for the best and bringing them back at home and back to their family. Now we'll get into past experiences and past rescues that you have partook upon. So what, and I know there's probably many that are going to go through your brain here. what was the most interesting rescue that you have personally worked on? I know quite a few years ago, and still I understand that the subject is still lost out there. Was the gentleman from Georgia that came out to the national park, and he's been missing ever since. No one can find him. Another one that might come to mind was the Aaron Corwin case, with Aaron Corwin and the 29 Palms Marine deal. So yeah, what was the most interesting rescue or search that you have partook upon? I should say.
I think the most interesting search was the Rosenthal search, and I think we were on that search for about 10 days. A gentleman, a broker out of Los Angeles, had gotten lost out of Black Rock, which is a common hiking. He was on a day hike.
Yeah, not far from here.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's right in Yucca Valley. He had gotten lost, and we were on that search for about 10 days. A tracker, and I hadn't been tracking at the time, and we actually hadn't developed that specialty on our team. This was actually the impetus to developing our tracking program. This is what motivated us.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a tracker from another team, San Bernardino County Search and Rescue Team, Morongo Search and Rescue.
Yeah.
Morongo Basin Search and Rescue. They put a tracker onto the tracks, and he was able to find the. He was able to get close,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next day we picked him up because we were in the right area. But up until then, helicopters, foot teams, equestrian teams, days went by and nobody was able to find him. That's because the search was completely in the wrong area. But when the tracker got on, he was able to guide the search into the correct area, and we were able to pick him up right away.
Amazing.
And he lived.
Yeah. So what was his condition when you guys found him? I'm almost positive dehydration.
Oh yeah, he was significantly dehydrated. His internal organs were beginning to fail.
Ooh.
But
pretty severe.
Yeah,
Pretty
in
severe.
fact he had written his will and testimony on his hat.
Oh wow.
Just I think a day before we had found him.
Holy cow. That's wow. That'd be something to see. Whew. I can't imagine.
And again, I wasn't.
And even the mindset going through that.
And that was that search that really got me interested in tracking.
Sure.
and how effective tracking can be as a tool to find a lost person.
Absolutely. Interesting. So now one of the more popular cases would, and many of you folks know, would be here locally in our backyard, and as mentioned before, the Aaron Corwin case. I understand that was more for police force, I believe, for their search and rescue team. So did you guys have anything to do with that, or?
Our team was not called into that one.
Okay.
Now that was a significant law enforcement case. It's not necessarily a. I guess it was a search, but it was more. But I think at that time they knew that she was deceased. They were basically
Sure.
looking for the burial
Sure.
location or the hide location, hiding the body. They got a lot of information through their law enforcement channels.
Mm-hmm.
They did borrow some of our team members that were familiar with the area, which was Old Dale Mining District.
Old Dale Mining, yeah.
Old Dale
absolutely.
Mining District. So
Yeah.
I think one or a couple of our team members they had brought them in privately
Hmm.
to assist them with some of the locations of the mines. But other than that, it wasn't a traditional lost person search.
Yeah, absolutely. More of a finding the body type deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So little bit of involvement there. So I mean,
not much. They didn't call our team in. They
Sure.
didn't need our team. They were using some very, very sophisticated technology that we're not allowed to discuss.
Understandable. All right, so we're just about to wrap things up, and the last thing I kind of want to leave everyone off with is the importance of a search and rescue team. And I think it's highly overlooked in the survival community because often we rely upon self-reliance, which is a great thing, but having that search and rescue team in place is so important. Can you touch base upon that a little bit?
Yeah, I can. The search and rescue team is there to save lives. That's our mission. The question is that why does an experienced survivalist or an experienced wilderness trekker, why do they need a search and rescue team? Well, my experience as a wilderness trekker is that is at least once or twice in my lifetime, and I've been in the wilderness a lot in many years, and a couple of those incidences I've come to a near fatal circumstance. I fell over a waterfall once. I mean, they're just unforeseen circumstances, the luck of the draw sometimes, and you get into these situations or that you may need help getting out of. You get injured back in the wilderness. You're by yourself. You may not be able to get out easily.
Even something as minor as twisting an ankle can lead to serious problems.
Right.
So,
and that's we're your backup.
Definitely.
We are the guys that come in with the yellow capes and the red hats and
help out. Absolutely. So with that, folks, we're gonna leave it off here, and thank you very much for not only the service with the national park and the search and rescue team, but for joining me on this video. So I'm Jeff with martinsurvival.com. Now, where can do you guys have a website or anything?
Yes.
What is that?
I'm not sure. I think it's Joshua Tree Search and Rescue.
So just Google it.
Yeah, Joshua Tree Search and Rescue
go.
Team.
All right, folks. So thanks again. I'm Jeff with martinsurvival.com. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
That was great.